15th, it's going to be the biggest day with hundreds of people, famous people, drones and cameras, and you're so good, that's the day that I would like you there.
The plaintiff says she was hired to perform at a function that you were putting on and that you didn't pay her, and the agreed price was $3,000. That's your claim. That's your claim.
Yes.
What do you hesitate for?
I hesitate because the price of the event was $1,500, but I'm also suing for damages and the tow truck that accrued moments after the incident.
Were you born here in California?
I was born in Wisconsin.
How long have you lived in California?
Almost my whole life, of 25 years.
Well, counts for some of your nonsense. What kind of function was this, sir, and where was it being held?
It was being held in Boulevard, California, and the function was, it's an annual spring party we do up at a ranch we have called the Shreddy Ranch, and we hired her to perform.
No.
Sorry.
Don't get ahead of yourself.
Sorry about that.
I asked you what kind of function it was.
It was
an
spring
annual
get-together.
function. And what was the date of the function?
I believe April 12th. I don't know. I'm not clear on the dates.
Well, find out. That's what you're supposed to know. You're a party to this action.
April 15th.
Of 2023?
Yes, ma'am.
How many people were you having at the event?
About 150 people.
What time did the event start?
The event it's a 3-day event. It starts from Friday to Sunday.
And what day was the 15th of April?
Saturday.
Saturday night, so right in the middle. Do you serve food?
Yes, we have it catered on Saturday.
When you say we, who's we?
Well, me. I had the party catered.
Okay. Who is the host of this party?
I am.
You are. You paid for it?
Yes.
Okay, and you do this every year?
Every year. We actually just got done with our 3rd annual party just last weekend.
I have enough from you. Now, Ms. Rolando.
Yes, Your Honor.
According to your complaint, the defendant saw you perform sometime in March.
Yes, March 18th, 2023, at the Ritz-Carlton Laguna Niguel.
And you're a singer.
Yes, Your Honor.
And I want you to tell me the exact conversation that you had with the defendant, because he came up to you after you sang, and he approached you about performing a month later.
Yes.
At his event.
Yes.
I want you to tell me exactly what he said to you and exactly what you said to him.
Over text or the in-person conversation?
Well, he didn't speak to you in text the first time he spoke to you. He came back to see you.
Okay, my recollection is that he came up to me and told me that it was going to be his wife's 40th birthday party.
Just a sec. Did he say, I liked your singing?
Well, yes.
I want you to tell me exactly what he said to you.
All right, he said, I loved your performance. I'm throwing a big birthday bash from the 14th, 15th, and 16th of April. I would love to have you come on the 15th. It's going to be the biggest day with hundreds of people, famous people, drones and cameras, and you're so good, that's the day that I would like you there.
Great. So you understood that it was a big event.
I did understand that.
Great. And you said, fine. He must have said, how much do you charge?
Actually, there was a little bit of discussion in between that time because on the 15th, I was already scheduled to play a festival with my band on April 15th, 2023 at Kushstock Festival in Adelanto, California. That's very far from where Mr. Birdwell lives. And so I told him I have text evidence, before we ever signed any contract, I told him, I will not be there. I'm coming late. I'm probably leaving this festival by 5 o'clock. I will be there before 10. And you will get your 3 hours.
I would like to see that in a text.
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is what the case is about.
I have those text messages.
The party started at 7.
Yeah, she was supposed to perform at 7.
Party started at 7. He says you were supposed to be there from 7 to 10. When you got there, and that's a matter of dispute, it was well past 7. Another act was performing, an act that Mr. Birdwell had commissioned to perform from 10 to 1. So there would be continuous entertainment. When you got there, you found another act performing, and Mr. Birdwell said, well, you can perform stop playing, because you're not listening to me if you're playing.
I'm sorry.
Got to pay attention.
Yes.
Mr. Birdwell said, well, I already have this other act because you weren't here. You can perform from 10 to 1, and you said no, and you left. That's the case, right? That's the case.
Yes, that's the case.
So far, you're not losing. If you're not losing, I keep my mouth shut so far.
Yes, Your Honor.
That's the case. Okay. Now, I would like to see, first, a contract.
Yes.
Do we have one?
I have one.
May I see it, please?
And in the contract, she never signed the contract.
Shh. You see, you always add something.
Sorry.
You always add something. Okay, so you contracted for $1,500.
Yes, Your Honor.
That is correct. And this says description 3 hours.
Yes. And I did.
Shh. Okay, and he sent this to you on March 21st.
Yes.
He sent it to you on March 21st. Well, it's dated March 21st. You didn't sign it.
Okay. I did sign it. I'm not sure why he received an unsigned
Fine.
copy.
May I see your signed copy?
Yes, you may. Oh, thank you.
Well, now I have a signed copy with signatures on it.
Yes.
And this says 3 hours, doesn't specify the time.
Yes.
Is that right?
That was purposeful.
Shit.
Yes.
That was purposeful.
Yes.
Okay, so you were commissioned to sing for 3 hours, according to you, unspecified hours. Just a sec. That's what you're telling me.
Yes.
Great. Now I'll see the text messages back and forth where you discuss time.
Okay.
Not okay. First text message, second text message with the dates.
Yes. So the.
Oh, don't say anything I can read.
Okay.
He says on March 19th, we would love to have you there to start playing at 7 p.m. on Saturday, 4:15. That's the last thing that this is here.
There's more.
That's March 19th. Next. And the next one that you hand me is April 15th. So between March 19th, you signed a contract for 3 hours, and the next communication that I have is April 13th. Excited for this weekend. Can't believe it's already here. Going to be awesome. Hey, Ryan, I just want to make sure there is any dress code, and my pianists know where whatever you want, people are going to be wearing whatever is on the ranch. Super fun. I'm coming from a weekend festival. I'm playing too, so I'll be wearing what I'll be playing there. Then I have the Saturday, April 15th at 10 of 12 in the morning. Hey, can you send me your address? Send that as soon as you can. Thanks. Oh, I actually got it. Sorry. All good. See you soon, and we'll hang out. We hope to be there for the Downbeat 7, but we're pretty far away at this fest, but we're about to play and we'll be out of here by 4. That's what you say to him, and you say that to him on April 15th. That's the first time, unless you have early...
I actually...
Well, I'm
gave
just
you the wrong
reading
page.
this.
I'm so sorry.
I'm just reading this. You say, we hope to be there for Downbeat at 7, which is when you were supposed to be there. So let's make that clear. Let's make that clear. You knew you were supposed to be there at 7 because you say, we hope to be there for... You mean you didn't write this?
I'm sorry, I did write that, but...
Pay attention.
Yes.
You wrote
Yes, Your Honor.
on the day of the event, we hope to be there for the Downbeat at 7, but we're pretty far away from you at this fest we're about to play, but we'll be out of here by 4. We're gonna be there later than 7, but you'll have your 3 hours either way, and we'll keep you updated. 4:35 in the afternoon. And then on the 17th, I'm not interested. All right, you have things that you want me to read
I do.
before this.
Yes,
okay, but on
yes, I do.
the date of the event, 2 days before the event, you say, we'll be there at 7. Now, let me see the other
I
thing.
did not say that 2
Don't
days.
speak, just give it to me. Nonsense. I don't want to see anything that happened before March 21st.
But that's kind of the most important part for me, because I told him before we ever signed the contract, I will not be there by 7 p.m.
Just
I
a
told
second.
him.
Hey. Man, you're supposed to be a professional. He's having a huge party.
That's why I offered him a different date.
Don't speak.
I'm sorry.
Don't speak. You're suing him. You didn't perform. You're suing him. You didn't perform. You were a professional. He's have 150 people there. And you said, we're going to be late. We're leaving at 4, but we're going to be there after 7. Now, you're the professional. What did you expect to happen with 150 people there and the entertainment wasn't there? What did you expect to happen, Miss Professional?
Your Honor.
No, I'm asking you a question. Did you expect them to just go on with the party?
First of all, I expected...
That's what you expected.
I expected the party that I was promised. I rolled up to about 10 people. 5 of them were toddlers. There were no cameras, no drones. There was nobody there. I am a professional.
Just a second. Was there another group playing when you arrived? You swore to
Yes,
that.
and when I arrived...
You arrived, there was another group playing.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes, which he...
What's up? There was another group playing. I don't care if there were 2 toads and a lizard on the ranch. There was another group playing for the 2 toads and a lizard, and the defendant and his wife. There was another group playing.
Yes.
What time did you get yourself there? Be very, very careful. There's a way to track it. What time did you get yourself there?
I was in the...
That's a time
Okay,
that I was in.
8:40 p.m.
What?
Between 8:30 and 8:40 p.m.
Okay, so between 8:30 and 8:40, that's not 7:15.
That's because
don't speak. That's not 8:15.
Have something important to say.
That's not 7:15.
Yes, I'm aware of that.
Okay.
I promised him I would not be there by 7 before we ever signed a contract, which is why I offered him 4:14 because I was completely free that day. I told him in text, March 20th.
You think you're the only singer?
March
You think
20th.
you're the only singer in California?
No.
Just a second. You think, madam, I mean, I don't know where the headspace is here. They raise a bunch of babies here, and maybe if you're in the entertainment business, you're a double baby. It's you for a function. You say, I'm totally free.
I told him I was busy that day.
Don't say, I'm totally free on the 14th. Well, he didn't want you for the 14th. He wanted you on the 15th. A professional would say, I'm far away on the 15th.
I did tell him that.
Hey, don't speak. I'm far away on the 15th. I don't think I can do the 15th.
Exactly what I said.
I don't think I can do the 15th. So maybe we'll do it next year. Maybe we'll do it at another time. I have one other question. When you arrived at 8:45 and you saw the other group singing, because from what I gather, put your paper down, from what I gather, the group that was supposed to perform at 10 was there early.
Yes, Your Honor.
Because you had booked from 7 to 10 and then someone after, so there'd be continuous entertainment.
Exactly.
Now, when you arrived there, be very careful with your answer. Did the defendant say you can play from 10 to 1? Be very careful with your answer. Did the defendant say...
He actually had no idea who I was and said, I thought you canceled. That's what he said. He said, I thought you canceled. That's what he said.
I want you to answer my question. Did the defendant say to you, you can sing with your band from 10 to 1? Be very careful what you say to me. Did he say you can perform from 10 to 1? That's either a yes or a no. Your silence, I would assume that he offered you 10 to 1.
After many threats, yes,
Just a
he
second.
offered that.
He offered you. What's wrong with you?
Sorry.
What is wrong with
text
you? Are
where
you? Is this your wife in third
Yes,
40?
sorry. I have a text
My
where
sympathies.
she admitted that I asked her to play. Sorry, Your Honor.
I know that
Just
you
a second.
did. I haven't been able
Just
to
a
say
second.
one thing of importance.
Just a second. Sir,
Sorry.
is he always like this?
Yes.
Is he always like this? Okay, you must have other attributes that I don't see. Do you understand? Your contract said you would perform for 3 hours. If he wants you to perform from 10 to 1, you perform from 10 to 1. You left.
After being threatened by him and several of his drunk friends, and they were belligerent and threatening us like this, every time I said the word contract, he got even more pissed off and threatening us. Yeah, we didn't want to play after that. We also had work in the morning, and he knew I wouldn't arrive until after 8. We had a phone call before I ever signed this contract because I am a professional, and I knew I would never make it at 7 p.m. I told him before the phone call, I will come and play before 10 p.m. Me arriving there and having to wait an hour and a half is him breaching our contract.
Oh, you think so?
Yes, I know so.
No, you don't know so, madam. You don't know. So your contract is very, very clear. You can't have it both ways. You can't use, and I'm going to tell you, it's a nuanced part of contract. This is your contract. You gave me the signed contract. Any parole evidence outside parole, not written in the same form as this contract, which is signed on both sides, is inadmissible when it's a contract. This contract said you will sing for 3 hours. You didn't sing for 3 hours.
I felt very threatened, so I left.
Well, that's too bad. I'm sorry. That's why I'm talking about people raised in California. They feel threatened. This is my space.
He was a
This
drunk.
is your.
No, he was a
This is
drunk.
my space.
He
This
was
is
a
your
drunk, and
space.
his friends
Don't
were
get into
drunks
my
as well.
space. You're interfering with my personal space. You signed
They were
a
drunk and
contract.
belligerent
Listen,
and hovering over us.
Madam, you do not appear to be a shrinking violet to me. Most people are intimidated by me. You are not, which suggests to me that you weren't intimidated by somebody. Well, then maybe a little therapy will help. You signed the contract, 3 hours. You didn't perform. He gave you the opportunity to perform from 10 to 1. Your case is dismissed. Grow up.
I feel that he breached the contract.
I fully agree with the judge's decision.
Because he hired another band 2 days before I got there.
I knew right away that lady was out of her mind.
The contract was that upon arriving, I was going to start performing, not wait an hour and a half after I drove 5 hours and came on this day when I told him I had another day free.
She never performed once. We gave her every opportunity to perform.
But I told him I was coming from basically across the state.
And honestly, I really wanted my chance to even go further into depth into how crazy that lady really is.
Him and 3 of his friends who approached me upon immediately being up there all drunk and big and huffing and puffing and cussing at me every time I said the word contract.
No, I did not witness that. He was talking to her, and he was confused because she was so late. He was like, who are you? Where did you come from? He had thought at that point she wasn't even going to show up.
It would be too soon if I ever had to see Ryan Birdwell again.
So then when we realized who she was, he said, go ahead and play. Play when they're done. And then she didn't like that answer and stormed out of there after that.
I got a little shiver down my back when you talked about the parole evidence rule. I spent a lot of time on that in contracts. But it's for a reason. It's so that when you have 4 corners of a contract that's signed by both parties, that's either specific or non-specific to certain parameters. You can't just bring in extrinsic evidence to fill in what you want the contract to have said in the first place. So it's a good rule, one that I spent a lot of time learning and one that finally was useful today.
Contract said simply 3 hours, $1,500. There's no question that the text messages revealed that she was supposed to be there at 7 o'clock. She may have been a little late because she's coming from another gig, but she expected when she got to the gig to go on right away.
Yeah.
Well, another act had been filling in for them. That act was supposed to start at 10 o'clock, which means that if she went to work when she arrived, that means that he wouldn't have had music until the end of the party. Yeah.
What you get for showing up late. You got a good end of the deal. You could have held up the contract and could have performed, and you chose not to. You don't get to sue them for that.
Do you know what the cause is for that kind of thinking? It's the everybody gets a trophy mentality that somehow generationally has come about. When I was growing up, if you came in first, you got first prize. You got a trophy. Maybe even they had a second place. Then you have one for third place, one for most congenial, one for the best pair of socks, one for the most gracious outfit. So everybody gets a trophy. And the everybody gets a trophy mentality produces that kind of thinking. Her thinking, when I get there, I am the head soprano at the Met. You can't replace me. I'm the only singer in California, and I'm here. Get the other group off the stage. My group is here, and now that's my space. That's everybody gets a trophy. And if we continue to do everybody gets a trophy, the next generation is going to be worse.
Bro, this woman showed up almost 2 hours late, refused to perform, walked away from the event, and then sued the man who hired her. Seriously? How do you say that out loud and still believe you are the victim? Now, I understand one part of Sofia's argument. She had another performance earlier that day. She says Ryan knew she was traveling from far away. And apparently, before the contract was signed, she warned him that arriving at exactly 7 might be difficult. Fine. That part deserves consideration. But here is where Sofia completely loses me. The text messages show she knew the expected start time was 7 o'clock. She even wrote that she hoped to be there for the 7 o'clock downbeat. Then she arrived around 8:30 or 8:40. Bro, that is not 5 minutes late. That is not traffic making you 10 minutes late. That is roughly an hour and a half after the agreed starting time. Ryan was hosting a party. He had people expecting live entertainment. What was he supposed to do? Stop the entire event and tell everyone, please sit in silence because Sofia may eventually arrive. Come on. He had another band scheduled to perform later, so he let that band start early and cover the missing time. That was the responsible decision. And when Sofia finally arrived, Ryan still offered her the chance to perform for 3 full hours, from 10 until 1. That is the part that destroys her entire case. The contract required 3 hours. He offered 3 hours. She performed 0 hours. Then she demanded payment. Seriously, make that make sense. Sofia's attitude seemed to be, I'm here now, so remove the band that saved your party and put me on stage immediately. No, that is not professionalism. That is entitlement. You cannot arrive extremely late and then expect the entire schedule to be rearranged around you. And her excuse about there only being 10 people there did not help her at all. She said half of them were toddlers. She said there were no cameras, no drones, and none of the huge crowd she was promised. But Judge Judy's response was perfect. It does not matter whether there were hundreds of guests or 2 frogs and a lizard. You were hired to sing. Your payment was for performing, not for counting the audience. Professional musicians sometimes play for packed rooms. Sometimes they play for nearly empty rooms. The agreement does not disappear because the crowd is disappointing. Now, Sofia also claimed that Ryan and his drunk friends threatened her. That is serious, and I'm not going to automatically dismiss someone saying they felt unsafe. But the problem is that her story still had major holes. Ryan's wife said she did not witness those threats. The other side said Ryan was confused because Sofia arrived so late that he thought she had cancelled, and Sofia's own behavior in court did not exactly make her look intimidated. She interrupted constantly. She argued with the judge. She refused to give simple yes or no answers. Every time Judge Judy asked whether Ryan offered her the 10-to-1 slot, Sofia tried to talk around the answer. Eventually, she had to admit the answer was yes. That was the moment the case was basically over. Because once she admitted he gave her the opportunity to fulfill the 3-hour contract, her breach of contract argument collapsed. And honestly, suing for car damage and towing charges on top of the performance money made the whole thing look even worse. You did not perform. You left. And now you want the client to pay for every bad thing that happened afterward? Bro, no. Judge Judy also explained the parole evidence rule. The written contract said 3 hours for Shamo 500s. Sofia kept trying to rely on private conversations and earlier discussions to create extra conditions that were not written in the agreement. She wanted the contract to mean, whenever I arrive, I perform immediately. But that was not what the signed document said. The contract only promised 3 hours. Ryan offered 3 hours. She rejected them. That is why Judge Judy dismissed the case. And then came the brutal ending. Grow up. Savage, but honestly deserved. Now, I do think Ryan could have been more organized and professional too. If Sofia was missing, he could have contacted her earlier and confirmed whether she was still coming. And if he or his friends were drunk and aggressive, that would obviously be unacceptable. But even if Ryan was rude, Sofia still needed evidence strong enough to justify refusing the performance and demanding full payment. She did not have it. For me, this case is a lesson about accountability. Being talented does not excuse being late. Being disappointed does not cancel a contract. And feeling important does not mean the entire event has to stop when you finally arrive. Sofia could have performed from 10 to 1, completed the contract, collected her money, and never worked with Ryan again. Instead, she walked away, performed nothing, and sued. Judge Judy absolutely made the right decision. What do you think? Was Sofia justified in leaving because she felt threatened? Or did she destroy her own case by arriving late and refusing the 3-hour performance she was offered? Let me know your opinion in the comments. And if you enjoy honest courtroom reactions, don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.